So Devstream 164 has just ended, which means we got some things to talk about and show off, like the next new Warframe, Revenant Prime, self-damage possibly coming back, the damage attenuation changes, Werewolf Warframe, the Naberus Halloween event, and so on. So plenty of stuff to get through, short, sweet, and to the point. This is our first look at Revenant Prime and his primed trailer. Let me know what you think about it.
What fatherless aberration is this? Who brings the wicked gift of an unknown mask this Naberus night? Seething with the void. Mocking me and causality alike. And what strange cruelty named him? To know and defy his death. This shadow of ill omen. This grim harbinger. This Revenant.
So Revenant's Prime trailer has that extra creepiness to his voiceover for Halloween. He looks damn good as well. He comes with the Phantasma Prime, the Tatsu Prime, the Oramus Prime Sayandana, and the Veltala Primed armor. He is coming on October the 5th, so next week if you want to get your hands on him. Feel free to pause this video so that you can see the stat differences on the weapons and of course the Warframe. Revenant I think has 75 extra shield and somewhere around 40 extra energy, but it is worth noting that Deviri can't come quick enough just so that DE can take colour away from Megan's game. Just Megan, no one else. Let the colour bleed into everyone else's game with Deviri except Megan. Keep colours away from her because bubblegum Warframes are just out of control. Crossplay, soon TM, right, is also underway, or it was yesterday for PC and Xbox players. So they did their first Warframe crossplay test between PC and Xbox. They turned on the Switch for about 30 minutes yesterday and I think it crashed some people's games, but they did enough of a test to gather information, which means it's getting closer, but there are more tests on the horizon, which they're not going to tell us when they're going to happen, they're just going to happen. So more short tests and then eventually tests between other consoles as well. But this is a huge first step. Once they finally turn it on for good, then they're going to start working on cross-save. Now, Echoes of Veilbreaker will be the next, I guess, minor update for Warframe, which will be a quality of life sort of update for the game with some minor additions which will touch on a few things. It's going to be a Khal-centric update, we're being told, with weapon skins, Venkra and Sprag rework, dojo rooms changes, and some new landing craft as well. So we're finally going to get to look at Venkra and Sprag in game. That rework we were shown years and years ago, but now they're going to show up, I think, in Khal's mission in some way, in his story, that Veilbreaker story for Khal. Since they are Grineer units, they fit that theme. Now the weapons will also show up in game for us to use as skins, so if you like the weapons that you're seeing in these images, then you're going to be able to get your hands on these skins yourself. Khal's missions are also going to see some changes with their challenges in particular, like making the challenges cumulative so that you can run multiple missions and gather some of the Grineer genes and so on of those challenges. You're not going to need to collect everything in one mission, basically. They will add up with every mission that you run, with the exception of one or two of those challenges, like opening the chest that we have in this week's one. Basically the more stringent, I guess, challenges. Now, following Veilbreaker's feedback, there are going to be two major threads that they wanted to touch on in this dev stream. The AoE meta is one of them, so area of effect explosive meta isn't done being changed just yet. They are still looking at it, but haven't settled on how to approach it. Self-damage is something that they are looking at and will most likely change that area of effect meta. Self-damage possibly being brought back, I guess, could be a pain in the arse for some of you, but it might be a percentage-based thing, meaning that you won't be able to one-shot yourself. If you shoot closer to yourself, then you're going to do more damage, but if that splash explosive is further away, then you're going to do less damage to yourself. But they basically wanted to feel scary blowing a missile up in your face, not a one-shot kill to your Warframe, so a slight return to the old Tonkor ways where you'd be afraid of catapulting yourself into orbit, right? Tenno space program. But again, this might not make it into game. It is just being tested behind closed doors right now, but they did kind of sound pretty sure it would. Self knockbacks or crowd control or changes to prime sure-footed was also something that they looked at, but I think it sounds like they've decided not to go down that path because there was a bit of a blowback from the community, so they're looking at self-damage instead. Now, damage attenuation was the other hot topic with Veilbreaker, and of course the Archons in particular, those new bosses, those new hunts. They are still trying to figure out a way to make content in Warframe last longer and not have everything in the game get one-shotted by us, because we are that powerful. That's why damage attenuation is a thing with these bosses, but they are looking to fine-tune it and make it better, a more, I guess, an enjoyable experience for us. Right now, a set amount of weapons make Archon boss runs pretty easy, but any setup outside of those weapons makes the fight drag on, makes it a little bit more of a bullet sponge and more of a chore and not as enjoyable. But they are looking at feedback and working on it, but they just don't know what way to fix it. They know that there are some players in the game that don't like the damage attenuation, like myself, but at the same time they know that they have a boss fight with these Archon hunts and that has to feel like a boss fight in some way and not just a one-shot kill that you would have on someone like Sergeant, because, like I said, we are that powerful, and spending a lot of time on these bosses and them reworking them or making them multi-phase or similar to something like the Ropalolist fight would simply take the devs too damn long. And I get the impression they meant it might take them away from the Deviri development, but that might just be me. So don't read too much into, I guess, that comment from me, but it kind of felt that way. Now, the Werewolf Warframe is still a work in progress. She is the Warframe that they are working on with Joe Mads from Darksiders. We got a look at some of the colours that they thought about, but they eventually settled on this image of the wolf. The name for this female Werewolf Warframe is being decided by the Design Council right now, and maybe eventually a community vote on the final name selection between a group of selected names from that Design Council post. This is her signature weapon, which is a great axe. Now, it was either going to be a scythe or an axe, but they settled on the great axe as her weapon. But this is an early look at what you might get your hands on with this female werewolf frame. Now, Grendel might be getting a rework. It's on the tables. It is complicated according to Pablo. He's going to need quite a few changes, but has some things in his arsenal that are a little bit groundbreaking. So if they buffed his abilities, then he might be a little bit busted. So they're going to have to, I guess, balance him out. They are looking at speeding up his ball a little bit because it breaks his fluidity or his motion. His second ability will lose the buff selection, where you can rotate between the 3 buffs, and it will add all buffs to that ability cast instead. So you'll cast it and you'll get everything in one go. So good, yay, a Grendel rework if you're into the big fat meaty boy. Ureli apparently is also going to get some minor tweaks to her passive that will make it more lenient, and her fourth ability could be more like Neja's, where you can activate it once for crowd control and then you activate it again to cause that crowd control to explode. Now, the Halloween event Naberus is coming back again with a store off Daughter again. You can buy glyphs, ephemeras, some weapon parts, Revenant's alt helmet, and so on. So basically the yearly Halloween event. Styanax was the most used Warframe for putting the new Archon shards into with the Veilbreaker update, which makes complete sense since he is the new big thing, or he was the new big thing. I mean, I think I've put all of my shards on Styanax because that's what I put my first one on, and I thought, feck it, I may as well just keep piling them on here. They did mention Wukong's nerf and how his usage has dropped a little bit, but he is still the most used Warframe in game by a long shot. The automated playstyle for Wukong has changed, but he's still super powerful and still super popular. Ammo pickups will be changing visually, so it won't just be the same blocks on the ground with different colours. These are concepts for the new ammo pickups in game. They're going to change depending on which ammo, I guess, drops. Prime Resurgence is on a bit of a monthly rotation, so expect new frames to be unvaulted every month. That's pretty much Devstream 164. That's it as condensed as I can possibly get it. Share your thoughts on everything you've seen, what you liked, what you didn't like. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and as always, thanks for watching.